Picture this. You're looking at a map of the United States. It seems familiar, right? 50 states, big oceans on either side, a few lakes here and there. Simple. But what if I told you that America's geography hides some of the wildest, most unbelievable, and jaw-dropping facts you've ever heard? Facts so insane you'll literally stop and think, how is this even real? Stick around, because today we're diving into 25 mind-blowing facts about America's geography. And trust me, number 19 will make your jaw hit the floor. Oh, and before we jump in, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We drop fascinating geography, travel, and culture videos every single week. And you don't want to miss what's coming next. All right, let's get into it. 1. The US is bigger than you think. America looks huge on a map, but when you put it into perspective, it's staggering. The United States is so big that you can fit the entire continent of Europe inside of it, with room to spare. Think about that. Paris, London, Rome, Berlin, all of them could comfortably sit inside America's borders, and you'd still have states left over. 2. Alaska is massive. Speaking of size, Alaska alone is so gigantic that if it were its own country, it would be the 18th largest in the world. Bigger than Iran, bigger than Mexico. And get this, if Alaska were split into 2 states, each half would still be larger than Texas. That's how absurdly massive it is. 3. There's a town where it's illegal to die. Yep, you heard that right. In Barrow, Alaska, now officially called Utqiagvik, the permafrost makes burying bodies impossible, so they literally had to ban dying there. The frozen ground preserves corpses, which can spread disease. So if you're terminally ill, you're legally required to leave town. 4. Death Valley versus Alaska, the wildest temperature gap on Earth. The US has one of the craziest temperature ranges on the planet. Death Valley, California, recorded 134 degrees Fahrenheit, one of the hottest temperatures ever on Earth. Meanwhile, Alaska has dipped to -80. That's a 214-degree difference inside the same country. 5. The Mississippi River flows backwards, sometimes. This massive river is known as the Spine of America, but during extreme events like Hurricane Katrina, the Mississippi literally reversed its flow. Imagine one of the longest rivers in the world suddenly deciding to go the other way. 6. The US owns more coastline than you realize. You'd think Canada has the monopoly on coastline, but the United States has over 95,000 miles of shoreline when you count Alaska, Hawaii, and territories. That's enough to circle the Earth nearly 4 times. 7. There's a lake that exploded. Lake Nyos in Cameroon is famous for this, but did you know the US has a similar risk? Lake Kivu in the Pacific Northwest holds vast amounts of dissolved gases. Under the right conditions, it could literally explode, suffocating everything around it. 8. The tallest mountain is not Everest. Everyone thinks Everest is king, but if you measure from base to peak, Mauna Kea in Hawaii is actually taller. Most of it is underwater, but from seafloor to summit, it towers over Everest by nearly 4,000 feet. 9. America has a real desert, with sand dunes that move. Colorado's Great Sand Dunes. National Park has dunes up to 750 feet tall. That's taller than the Statue of Liberty, and they actually shift and move with the wind, like living mountains of sand. 10. The Great Lakes. Hold 20% of the world's fresh water. Yep, 5 lakes, holding 1/5 of all the fresh surface water on Earth. That's more than enough to cover the entire lower 48 states in almost 10 feet of water. If you're drinking a glass of water in America, there's a good chance it started in the Great Lakes. If you're enjoying this video so far, smash that like button and hit subscribe. It helps the channel grow and you'll never miss another wild geography fact again. Alright, back to it. 11. The Four Corners. The only spot in America where 4 states meet. Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah all touch at a single point. You can literally lie down and be in 4 states at once. Nowhere else in the US has this geographic oddity. 12. America has a volcano that erupts every single day. Kilauea, in Hawaii, has been erupting almost non-stop for decades. It's one of the most active volcanoes in the world, and scientists call it a drive-through volcano because of how accessible it is. 13. Tornado Alley, Earth's twister capital. America gets more tornadoes than any other country, over 1,000 every year. That's more than the rest of the world combined. Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas form the heart of Tornado Alley, where the weather can go from sunny to apocalyptic in minutes. 14. Mount Rushmore has a secret room. Behind Lincoln's head, there's a hidden chamber carved into the mountain. Originally intended as a hall of records, it now contains a time capsule of America's history, sealed away in stone. 15. Florida has glow-in-the-dark water. Bioluminescent plankton light up parts of Florida's coastline at night. Every movement in the water creates glowing streaks of neon blue, like something straight out of Avatar. 16. The Grand Canyon can change its own weather. This massive chasm in Arizona is so deep, it actually creates its own weather system. Temperature swings, sudden fog, and dramatic thunderstorms, just from the canyon's depth. 17. America has an underwater waterfall. In Hawaii, off the coast of Maui, there's an underwater waterfall. It's really an illusion caused by sand falling off an ocean shelf, but it looks like a giant waterfall plunging straight into the abyss. 18. The US has an ice desert. Alaska's glaciers cover an area larger than the entire state of South Carolina. These massive rivers of ice are constantly moving, cracking, and reshaping the land. 19. There's a town that vanishes into the ocean, literally. New Orleans is sinking at a shocking rate, up to 2 inches per year in some places. Combine that with rising sea levels, and parts of the city could be underwater within decades. 20. There's a supervolcano under Yellowstone. This one's infamous. Yellowstone National Park sits on top of a giant supervolcano. If it ever erupted, it could blanket half the US in ash and alter global climate. Thankfully, scientists say it's not likely anytime soon. But the fact that it exists is terrifying. 21st. The US has the world's longest cave system. Mammoth Cave in Kentucky stretches for more than 426 miles of explored passageways, and scientists think there could be hundreds more miles undiscovered. That's like an underground highway stretching across multiple states. 22. America has a salt flat that looks like another planet. Utah's Bonneville salt flats are so flat and reflective, they look like an alien world. Car races are held there because there's literally nothing in the way for miles. 23. The US has a forest that turns into stone. Petrified. Forest National Park in Arizona is filled with 200-million-year-old trees that have turned into quartz. Imagine walking through a forest of crystals instead of wood. 24. A lake that's pink. Lake Hillier in Western Australia is famous, but America has its own pink lakes too. The Great Salt Lake in Utah sometimes turns bubblegum pink thanks to algae blooms. 25. The US is still growing, literally. The Hawaiian Islands are expanding every year as new lava hardens into land. America is one of the few countries on Earth that's physically getting bigger. And that's 25 geography facts about America that will absolutely blow your mind. From exploding lakes to glowing seas, from mountains taller than Everest to deserts of moving sand, the US is far stranger and far more fascinating than most people realize. So tell me, which one shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments below, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel right now. We've got more jaw-dropping geography and culture videos coming your way every week. And trust me, you won't want to miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.